Welcome to the spot. My name is Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we have a couple guest spotters today. We have Sonia.
Hi, Sonia, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
All right, welcome. And Hassan.
I'm Hassan Grimes from Philadelphia, PA.
All right.
Hey, my hometown. My hometown. Family. Anyway, Tiara is out this week. She's traveling. She'll be back next week. And in just a short moment, we'll be back to discuss episode 4, Demetrius of P-Valley. Okay, we're back and we're ready to get into episode 4, Demetrius of P-Valley with our guest spotters. This one was a spicy one, y'all. This was a spicy one. What did y'all think so far? I mean, what did y'all think of the episode?
I first have to say that my stomach is a little queasy with spicy foods. And so this episode certainly, it was rich.
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. But we can get started from the beginning, because in the beginning we see that we're back at the Pynk. Got my pink shirt on too for the Pynk. And the Pynk is lit. Whisper and Roulette, they're headlining, it's going off, and we see the health inspector. We didn't know she was a health inspector, but we see the woman who was at murder night that got the private dance from Mississippi last season that had the divorce settlement. She's in there throwing her stimmy. She's throwing her stimmy. She's getting her whole life at the Pynk and everything. And Toy, she gets a private dance with Toy, and Toy takes off her mask and sneezes on her.
2 masks. She had on 2 masks.
2 masks. Took off 2 masks. So the health inspector goes off, freaks out, shuts everything down. And it's like, listen, I'm with the health department. We about to shut this joint down. This heifer done sneezed on me. She done sneezed on me. It's several violations going on here. Half these people ain't even wearing masks and stuff. They cutting up like we ain't even in a pandemic.
Well, let's look at Lord. Let's look at Lord, as she calls herself, Lord Hawkins. You wore 2 masks to get into P-Valley. You allowed somebody to take not one, but both your masks off. You deserve everything you got, because if you were so health conscious to wear 2 masks and you allowed her to take both your masks off, I know you have to explain that one to me. So, and then
she was in a moment. She was fine until sis. She was caught up. She was fine until sis sneezed on her.
Yeah. But are y'all seeing the bigger picture here? She's a seed. She was planted there for that reason, to shut down the Pynk.
Wait a minute, Hassan.
She was planted there.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that a little bit now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain it to me too.
I see where you hit it. I see where you hit it. I'm not sure if I would call her a plant, because she was way busy. She was
there. She was there before. She was there because she was all on Mississippi. Like, remember last season, she was like, Mississippi. She said, "You look like a Barbie doll." Like, she was like, "You're so beautiful," and stuff. So she remember what she also said. She was like, "Y'all need to hurry up and get these citations taken care of, so I can get back up in here with my STEMI." So I don't think she really wants to pay.
I want to hear Hassan's theory on this, though.
I do want to hear your theory, though.
Last week, Kyle came in with his, $1 million offer. She wants 10.
That's Corbin.
That was Corbin.
I mean Corbin. Yeah, Corbin Cowers is his name, right?
Corbin Cowers. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's why I said he was, he made an offer. The offer was, of course, not accepted. But now they're going a different route in regards to trying to get them to budge. They gave them requirements that's going to need to be done within 24 hours to keep the Pynk open now, right? It's going to come out that Corbin has something to do with Miss O'Hawkins here, because it's kind of fishy that she comes in, she's double masked, right? She gets caught up in the moment, and takes off her mask, but all of a sudden she sneezes on you, and now you took your mask off. So you should be open to anything that comes along with that. That's like, from a male perspective, if you take something off, you anything comes behind that, you got to be accepted to anything. It's yours, right? So COVID could be hers if she takes it off, right? So now I think she's planted there. She's probably giving a little bit of money because Corbin put that money on the young man's step and said, "I need you to make this happen." So now that didn't work. So now he's going a different way. I'm gonna go. He knows she like women. That's probably why she got divorced, because she likes to play both sides of the fence or whatever it may be. It was well written, right? But I'm telling you, as a writer, I see where it's going. Okay. It's going in a stage of where they're going to keep throwing things at the Pynk in regards to, all right, if that don't work, we're going to do this. If that don't work, we're going to do this, which is life.
Okay, I can kind of see that. But you know what I thought was going to happen, and I really wish they had exploited it a little bit more, was when Uncle Clifford remembered who she was and started putting things together.
I was about to say that.
I was like, yeah. I thought that was going to shut it down. I really did.
Listen, she lowered her fine after he called her out, because the fine was originally $25,000.
Exactly.
And she brought the fine down to $11,000. Once Uncle Clifford called her out, was like, "Oh, you were that auntie that was in here on murder night with yeah."
So I just thought they was going to press that a little bit more to say, get out of here. We know who you are. We know the foolishness that you brought.
She still, because of citations, because she told them that the AC, the circulation, they needed to get that together. They needed to have like plastic partitions, even though she ain't mind the plastic partitions when she was throwing that money. But she ain't said none of that stuff until sis sneezed on her. And so
ugly sneeze too.
It was an ugly sneeze.
That was a full
and she been sneezing.
Oh yeah.
She been sneezing because last week was spraying her down.
That was a full-blown COVID spread right there.
Yeah, every particle. It makes me wonder though, with Lord Hawkins, if the people that are in her circle know what she does in her spare time, in her free time. Because if I were, Uncle Cliff, I would have said, we got cameras that got, have you doing all kinds of things.
They did, right.
If you know what though? Shut us down, then hey, we can. We can help you with your career by making sure that you don't have one.
Right.
But you know what though?
But science said it though. Science.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying science said it. Like, why would that seem that way? Because Uncle Clifford, she's smarter than the average bear, right? So I think she's gonna, in the next episode, that's gonna come when she has this meeting with Corbin, because now something's gonna come up where they have another interaction. I feel when she basically. Corbin, I know what you're doing, right? And then if y'all want to play this game, I got some stuff on you, and I got something on your henchmen or henchwomen as well. It's going to come out like that, whereas they're going to have the ground. The Pynk is going to have the ground to stay if they want to.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing though. Even with Sis, the health inspector, as far as her going to the Pynk, everybody goes, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people go to strip clubs. They go as couples to the strip club and stuff like that. So as far as holding that over her, I don't know.
Well, like I said, it depends on the circle she travels in.
Exactly.
So.
Right, it does. Especially if maybe she's a Bible thumper. So
she was just real convenient with the fact that she is this health inspector. Exactly. She was real convenient with that before when she was up in there throwing those ones or whatever.
Right, that wasn't the first time. She was drunk under the table, as Uncle Clifford said.
A menace to society when she left because she got put to driving drunk.
And we know with those government jobs, you just can't be doing anything.
That's the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't think it's past Uncle Clifford to bring this back up. I think you're right, Hassan. I think this is going to be something that comes back up. If she keeps pushing, I think Uncle Clifford got something for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the whole thing, because like you said, Tiff, people go to strip clubs, but you don't know what happens in those private rooms.
Right.
Now, footage being, that's the whole thing. Now, if you want to put my business out there, I got your business.
The footage is there.
The footage is there. That's insurance.
That's paid. That's the best insurance you can have, and it's free.
Exactly.
It's okay to come, but when you get here, it depends on what you do.
Right.
And that's going to be their leverage in regards to, we got something on you. You want to play?
You want
to
put it out.
You want to shut me down? Let's get a shutdown party.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And she gave them like 24 hours. And so
which is impossible. It's impossible.
It's impossible. I mean, and that was the other thing why I thought Uncle Clifford would go a little harder on her, because a lot of times you have to order stuff. It takes a while. You just
and we're in a pandemic.
And it was at the beginning of the pandemic.
And you know that.
Yeah, this was at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The storyline is at the beginning, not where we are now.
So
right.
And you couldn't find nothing.
Right. And you still can't find nothing. This is still supply and chain.
Right.
Supply chain demand issues and stuff. So that was already.
So she know that. So she knows that. That's why I believe she was playing it, because she's given out these type of expectations that she cannot be done because of it's a pandemic. We've all been in real life a part of this, and we understood what it was like in regards to getting food.
Listen, right? I'm in COVID jail right now. I'm in COVID jail right now. That's why you don't see my background, y'all. Last week I said I had a cold. That home test said negative, and I got tested again, and it was positive. So it's my last day. I'm okay, but we're still living it.
The only thing I want to say
is real.
Hassan, the only thing I want to address with you is, if she's a plant, then what is it that she was looking for? Because typically she already had she not been sneezed on, she still had enough to go on, because as you recall, there were people in there that weren't wearing masks.
They were taking the mask off.
They were taking the mask
off.
That's
the point.
Well, what I'm saying is, had she not known that, or let's say that hadn't happened, because it looked like she was fine up until the point she got sneezed on. Now, the question is, what would she have done? What would she have done had she not been sneezed on? She would have emptied those dollar bills she had, and she probably would have gone out and tried to get more money to go back.
Listen, she said it when she met with them before. She said, "You hurry up and get this stuff done so I can spend my stimmy."
Exactly.
So she trying to
because that's with the plant, right? With the plant, even if you're enjoying something, right? You're doing your job, right? Now you got to do something wrong, but then she can go back to her people who planted her and like, listen, I did it, because she don't want the Pynk closed down. This is a place where she can go enjoy herself, be who she really is, without worrying about any backlash, right? So now, like you were saying, Ron, what would she have done? I believe what she would have done was, if she would have came out, my writer in me, she would have came out and seen all those individuals that didn't have masks on, then she would have made after she got her little thrill. Because I actually thought, watching it, that some stuff was going to happen between them two. Now in the private room, that some stuff was going to happen between them two. But because she did sneeze, that shut it all down, and that messed her up. Like, I was about to have a happy ending, and look what happened.
Yeah, but as a government official and a former contracts officer, it's called a conflict of interest. If she's in there to do one thing to shut it down, and while she's enjoying herself and being entertained in the very areas that she's supposed to shut down, that's a conflict of interest in terms of her duties and responsibilities, because While she was in that room throwing away money, there were other things going on out there, like people not wearing masks. That was enough right there to stop it.
Right.
So she could have shut it down when she saw one person. If she saw one person without a mask in close proximity to another person, she could have said, this is a violation of code X, Y, and Z, and I'm shutting this place down. She didn't have to get involved with the entertainment in order to do her job. That's outside the scope of her job, because the scope of her job, didn't say you need to go in there and entertain yourself. And, you know, in order to, at some point, ultimately shut the Pynk down. Yeah. So,
but that's what I believe.
As a writer, you know, I got you, and we may see that later on. There may be some other instances where those were just temporary violations. She may be in there for the long run and finding something that is more permanent. So I definitely can agree with you in the regard of, you know, there's a plausibility that could happen. I just don't see it.
Absolutely.
I don't see it right now, but I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock it out.
Well, you know,
and the reason why I have that theory is because, all right, they want to build the casinos, but nobody really wants to shut the Pynk down, right? And that's why I got that sense from. Nobody really wants to shut it down. So if she goes back to Corbin and says, all right, I did what you told me to do. These are the stipulations I gave, and if they do them, then you ain't got nothing on me. I did what you asked me to do. So give me my money that you told me you would give me, and I can go back and put this back into the strip club. You know what I mean? But I'm going to go back and enjoy myself. But I did what you asked me to do. Because even with the old mayor's son, he's going to run now. Even Pastor, she's going to run now. Yeah, Andre.
A lot of people running for mayor now.
Too, we found out.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is.
Pastor's running for mayor now.
I know, and I'm here for it. I'm gonna tell you, I'm here for Pastor Patrice. I sure am, because that's where the blessings reside. Where the blessings reside. Okay.
Look,
amen. Amen.
Look, I wanna love Miss Woodbine, but I can't get over what she did to her daughter.
And that was
Pastor wrong. Pastor wrong.
Oh, that's so wrong. And so, as you know, I don't want to be the person that says, as long as for the Lord, you can do anything you want to get there.
Right.
I'm not there with that.
Oh, she messy.
Oh,
she messy is out of the way. She is 100%
messy. Oh, yes, indeed.
But we know in politics now, sometimes messy is good. We had messy in there.
Oh, you know, she don't mind.
No.
She don't mind getting messy. And what I like about her character, even though she is messy, you get what you get with Patrice.
Well, that's true.
You get what you get with Patrice. Patrice gonna be Patrice. She's selfish, you know, she's self-serving, but that's Patrice. That is Patrice. And I think she really believes that she's on this mission to cleanse Chuckalisa. You know,
I think so too. And I think I think what's it called forced her hand too. When he called himself trying to shut her down last week, that she said, you rest with the wrong bee. So I think she probably didn't have any intentions at first of running. When he came up in there trying to shut her down and everything, she's like, you know what? He messed with the wrong one.
I don't know, because I do recall.
Like I know better, and Corbin should know better. Women run the world.
Well, and I remember I remember a conversation that Mercedes had with her mom. You know, because Mercedes asked her to hold the money for her. Yeah. And one or two occasions she asked for the money, and she talked her out of it.
Come on, Pastor.
So you know, I want to say yes, I understand, and I agree with you, Tiff, but I think she knew what she was going to do with that money alone, you know, for quite some time.
Pastor,
you think so? You think she meant to? You think she meant to keep the money? You know that.
I do.
You think that she had never any intention of giving that money back?
No,
to Mercedes.
No.
Look, I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about her running for office. Her, you know, her running to be mayor. I think he forced her hand. Interim Mayor Kyle forced her hand when he called himself shutting down her church last week. Then and she said to him, she said, "You messed with the wrong bee." So I think then she was like,
"Well, it's a Bible Belt." You know,
area, Mississippi, yes, for sure, it's a Bible Belt, and you see what type of pull she has, because you know she's on billboards, she's giving out food in the food banks and stuff.
Because that's where the blessings reside. That's
right. The message resides. She's giving out CDs. She has a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and if she gets in office, and what she was saying, she was stating facts last week when she was talking about the Black community and how
when they was like, at the pastor's chicken dinner.
Yeah, the chicken dinner. You said the chicken dinner wasn't even good too.
Dry
but she was, you know, she was speaking facts about the white politicians. And so I think
that's what I'm telling you. Pastor gonna win. I'm gonna tell you why, because what it's gonna do is, I believe, again, to my writer kicking in, I believe that's gonna bring a rekindleness with her daughter, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna team up now, because what's gonna happen is now they're gonna try to shut P Valley down, you know, the Valley down, and then they're gonna come after Pastor, and them two are gonna team up. And I think it's going to rekindle the mother-daughter, because she's trying to fix the relationship with her daughter as well. So it's going to be, listen, I'm telling you, it's going to all come together.
I don't know about that.
Because she doesn't want, Pastor don't want the Pynk open, number one. She thinks that Mercedes is a heathen for being at the Pynk. I think if anybody going to win, I think Andre going to win.
Thank God son going to win.
I think Andre, little Obama, is going to win. and you know, he is going to win, and he has that relationship with Autumn, and Autumn is about self. as we saw, I mean, we totally kind of skipped around. We totally kind of skipped around because I didn't want to get to Autumn yet, but I'll say that Autumn is about self. But I want to back up a little bit, because we were talking about that opening scene with the health inspector and everything, but we didn't talk about, like, right after that,
the fight,
roulette, the fight. Yeah, because homegirl Brazil basically dimed on roulette and was like, she broke one of Uncle Clifford's rule. What, I'm trying to remember the number.
I know, right?
0.025, whatever the rule was.
Right.
That you're not supposed to be hoeing at the club.
Right.
You're not supposed to be tricking. And roulette has been tricking. She's been breaking all the rules.
Yeah,
all the rules.
Tricking, showing her titties. That's one of the rules you're not supposed to be doing on the stage. She been doing all of that. And so Brazil snitched on her.
What'd you say, son?
She also learned about all the extra curriculum stuff that's going on too.
That's what I'm saying. Brazil dined on her. Brazil dined on her, and Roulette accused her of lying, and went over there and proceeded to whoop her butt.
Which she did.
And while the girls were streaming online.
There you go. That was funny.
They streamed it online.
That was funny. You know, but I guess, you know what, you know, you got to have a code, right? You know what I mean? You got to have a code even in any kind of situation. So even in the stripper world, you know, you can't be telling.
Snitching.
Right.
No snitching.
No snitching.
No snitching.
Snitches get
snitching
get stitches or something like that. You know what I mean? You know.
And that's why
she's gonna need some snitches.
And that's why I can agree with Autumn. You know, I can agree with her in the sense, because let's look at it from the fight standpoint. Okay, you got this fight breaking out in P Valley, and you ladies with your phones, you're recording it and you're uploading it online so that the world can see. It's your own demise. You're bringing down P Valley, and you're doing it with your own hand. And here Autumn is saying, hey, if I can sell this for more than $1 million, as I said last week, it's all about business. You know, whether, and I know Uncle Clifford has this affinity for these women, but they don't have it for themselves. And apparently they don't have it for the P, because if you would, you know, upload all that, you're exposing the Pynk.
Yeah, dirty laundry.
Right. And by doing so, you're creating your own demise. So why not?
I don't think they think about it like that. I think
no, they don't
at all.
But you know what? Isn't that the problem though? I mean, the real problem is when you are, you know, if you don't think about it that way, you should at least know that your business relies on the Pynk, and you should be doing all.
But think about it like.
But you should be doing all you can to save it, not harm it.
But think about it like this too, and that's a great point. But think about it like this, right? You know, I know we probably been to the strip club long time ago. Long time ago.
Speak for
Long
yourself.
time ago.
Speak for yourself, man.
Long time ago.
Speak for yourself. I agree with you, though. I mean,
right. But controversy is what the true authenticity of reality is what sells, right? So if they're putting this negative thing out there that's really going on in reality, what's going on, I think that'll bring more awareness and more popularity, because they want to see this woman that's in there, that's in there like beating up on, where's she at? She already becoming the most popular one because she brings something different to the Valley. But she in herself, she's a very, she's doing stuff that the rules. She's breaking all the rules. She's the rule breaker, right? So
I think it's a little deeper than that, Hassan, with Roulette. The more that I'm paying attention to her, I think that she's a survivor. We're getting to learn a little bit more about her.
Yes.
She shared, some things about her brother. We saw a completely different, vulnerable side to Roulette in this, and I saw, you could see it. You could see the buildup, and when she separated herself and she went, into that room, and then old boy came in there, and she shared, something, with him about, the passing of her So I think I think that she has gone through some things, and I think she's just in survival mode.
But
I think you're right, because Whisper said that last week. He said.
Whisper something else too.
I just want to. I want to kind of ride on Hassan's point for a minute, and add something to it. If the city of Chucalissa actually thought about it, a casino, money, P-Valley, sex, and alcohol. Oh my gracious! You talk about income
on the waterfront too, Ron. It's on the waterfront.
So you got sex over here. You got casino over here and alcohol. My God.
Sound like Vegas.
Oh.
It sounds like Las Vegas.
Call it Las
Vegas. That's Vegas.
Exactly.
But as you said, this is the Bible Belt. Those things, don't necessarily go together. But what's interesting is, the same people at the strip club on Saturday night be in the church house
on Sunday morning.
So the two, can coexist. The two things can be true at the same time.
They very much live. It's a great. They live parallel.
It's a great point, Sonia. Absolutely, it's a great point, Sonia. But you know what that is? That stems back to what I said. That's our reality. This it happens every day.
Every day,
right?
And
everybody. Everybody want to watch something that, like I just was at the strip. Wow, this what goes on. All the strippers are going, oh my God, this just happened. Keisha just beat Teresa up. And it's reality. It's everybody's reality. And that's what sells. That's why we're watching. That's why we're in tune. That's why great writing. Great writing, I believe.
It is. It is very good writing.
It's just a thing of that we're able to relate to it, because we, as the people that are not strippers, we have been into strip clubs. Right. And we want to know what goes on behind closed doors, and they're giving us insight so we can see for ourselves. And it's great. And it's a reality. And like you said, the Bible, we have Mom Dukes who wants to stop the strip club, but also she has her money agenda.
Oh yeah. She started her church with Mercedes money.
Exactly.
Come on. If you talk about hypocritical, come on, but in her mind.
The devil on one shoulder and Jesus on the other. And
she's smoking, and cussing.
Because I was thinking, I was like, okay, casinos, that'll bring jobs. I'm thinking if it's such a depressed, oppressed area, when you look at the, city of Chucalissa, I'm thinking that could be a big boon, to the city. But then Patrice, said, last week, that, they're not going to hire us, because we can't count, so it really is interesting, the different perspectives.
Right, because she's like, it's going to bring jobs, but jobs for who is what she's saying. Because, a lot of times with the politicians, they looking out for their folks. They're not always looking out for,
but it's
people of color.
But it's funny how they're looking at jobs over there, but they're not looking at the amount of money they're going to make. Because remember, in The Pynk, you had politicians in there, all sorts of people going.
That's what I was about to say.
And yeah, like to your
Closing business deals in the Pynk.
in the Pynk.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
with that
happens in real
casino,
life.
that's just going to bring an influx of the good, the bad, and the ugly over to the Pynk, because sex, we know sex and money are the two destroyers of, but they're what we have in our lives that exists 24/7.
Yep, exactly. Funny.
I know I wanted to piggyback on what Sonia said about roulette, because about there being more to her than that, because after she got into the fight with Brazil, Big L scooped her up and took her to the back, and he basically put her on game too, because he just was like, you know, you want to be the finesser, you don't want to be finessed. And so he and the way he talked to her too, it almost seemed like he knew her from somewhere.
Because
it was like, something he said.
His daughter, he said that she reminded him of his daughter. And I was like, wait a minute. Where we going? You know,
his daughter.
Yeah. I was like,
it was just the way he talked to her. It just made me feel like
y'all didn't see the defensive like a good offense is a good defense is a great offense, or a good offense is a great defense. Did you see that defensive play he made? Because remember, last season, she saw those pills and things that he was pushing.
Last week.
So he saw.
They both have secrets.
Now, so that's what he did with her, though, is he brought her in, he softened her so that what she saw wasn't so egregious or not so much usable for her now, because what he was doing was softening her with the conversation that he had. So he was actually doing a hell of a defense for what she saw in the last episode. So I thought that was a great play that Big Al did.
I think, it
was. Big Al, rather, not Big Al.
Both were on the same
page. It was like
page.
a truce.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was a truce.
It's like we see each other, because he's like, I saw you get out that car.
Exactly.
We know you've been drinking.
Right.
And she's like, I saw
and he offered her a drink
with the drugs. So the thing is, to me, it was like wink, wink, wink. We both got something on each other, and we gonna both sit on this.
Right.
But you wait till Uncle Clifford find out all that is going on, though. I don't know what rule is gonna be, but he gonna pull out a rule.
It's a lot of rules.
Well, I tell you, Big L can keep a secret. Now the question is, can she keep her mouth shut?
Right.
Well, they both have something on each other. Like if she tells on Big L, then he got something on her too. He can back up the story.
Right.
Because she said that Brazil was lying about the extracurricular activities. Big L knows that is true. Right. So neither one of them are going to say anything, because they both have something on each other.
What the sad part about it is going to come out. And that's how it is. It's going to come out. The reason
I can't wait for it to come out.
Why,
there'll be some good drama.
The reason why is because exactly. What Uncle Clifford, he's going to be upset.
Right. Because right now,
the crazy
Uncle Clifford,
thing about it is, I seen it, right? Because I seen it when the guy said, "Yeah, I'm looking for the woman who do the extra." Word of mouth.
Exactly.
And that's all you need in that industry. You hear somebody in there doing something strange for a little bit of change, and they want to get a happy ending. Everybody want to come for the happy ending.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to get out there, and everybody's going to be, no, forget the dancers. I'm trying to get a happy ending. I'm trying to go into that room with her. She's going to be the most popular one, and it's going to be a bunch of hating because she's going to be making all the money. Because they're not going to want the regular dance. Once you get the extracurricular activities, you're not going to want the dance. You're going to want the extracurricular activity.
Okay.
Okay. Well, after all the chaos happens, at the Pynk, Uncle Clifford fills Mercedes in, lets Mercedes know that that her mom is running for mayor. And I know that's probably her worst nightmare. And then we head on the road, and we see that Mississippi and the crew, the Dirty Dozen tours in full effect. Mississippi got an eyelash promo and stuff. Rome is doing his job with the endorsements, and he making sure she getting her eyelash promo.
He is. But did you catch a little colorism that she pulled out? Yes. I was like, oh, good for you, Mississippi.
Yes.
Call it out.
Because they whitewashed her
Yes.
her photo.
I mean, I do love the social commentary that they bring up from time to time with Peace Valley. Also, Black Lives Matter. They brought that in.
Yes.
And so that was real cool. But yeah, you know, Keisha, I mean, Miss Mississippi, little, you know, she doesn't need Little Murder. Little Murder needs her.
She's herself.
Yeah.
She's a character. But what's gonna happen when Sip get home though? To that abuse and all that stuff, because now she on the road, she becoming who she is. As you know, that's one thing about a woman, you know, she's allowed to be herself now, and she's in an abusive situation home. Is something gonna happen at home where these handlers who know she's the bag, she's the money, are they gonna do something to her baby father?
You know what I think gonna happen? Now I think Diamond gonna come back on the scene. Cause see, that's still some unfinished business there. Think about it. That is unfinished.
He's the enforcer. He's the enforcer.
It is.
You know, and he still got a little love for Keyshawn, even though when he saw her.
Let me tell you, Diamond is still with her.
Diamond is still with her?
Yes, because
I don't know. That was a whole lot of passion.
I mean, I'm sure he did. I thought he was in love with her and stuff, but I think that he probably still has feelings for her. But she pulled that gun on him and everything. Now he done met Big Bone, and if you saw the episode, he stepped off with Big Bone, and we know in real life, Big Bone is Miracle Watts and is his real life girlfriend. But on the show,
that's his real life girlfriend.
Yes, they're expecting a baby. They're expecting a baby. So on the show, Big Bone, you see the introduction of them. So no, I don't think that Mississippi. I think when he told her to get on when she was at the dollar store, he was done with her. He was done with her. I mean, I think he's still hurt.
He was done and hurt, but he understood because that was her baby father, right? A woman's going to step, especially, you know, they in that situation, they're going to always protect their kid's father. Because what if anything happens to him? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the whole thing.
Right.
Now she knows who she is. Like, she's being built up to be who she really is. She's a great woman in regards to being a provider. He's supposed to be the provider. She's providing for him.
Right.
You know, with this OnlyFans and all the other stuff that she's doing. And now she's getting her own brand and her own. Now she's gonna look at him like
getting all types of endorsements. Yeah, because she is the draw. Like, I do think that Murder is gonna blow up too. Murder is gonna blow up too. Yeah, of course. But be clear that.
But what's gonna happen
Mississippi
about
is
his
the draw.
lifestyle?
Oh, that's coming out. That secret is teetering.
Who he is.
That secret.
I don't think it's a secret. I think folk know because.
Folk does know. Folk know because Pico has been. That's why Teak beat him down last week. Right. Pico been dropping. Murder beat him down last season because he said something, and then Teak whooped him up last week because he said something.
But how come Rome act like Rome is so? Rome is like what? What's going on?
Yeah, but he catching it though. He catching it because he looked last week.
He know. He
Rome
he's speculating, but he want him.
Rome heard it. He heard it because he looked like what?
Exactly.
But let's look at
as a friend though. He want him to tell him himself. He don't want to believe what he's thinking. He want him to come out and be like, "This is what I'm doing." And I don't think Murder's going to do that because
nobody's wants. No, he ain't going to do that.
The rapper lifestyle. You know, you gotta be this killer, and most killers are, you know.
Yeah, but the elephant.
That's what I'm saying.
The elephant in the room with me is Big Teak, because Teak, man.
Listen,
this man.
Why did I think that was coming? Because when they first picked him up from prison, there was a look on Murder's face to me that was like,
oh man, like
yeah, because I was like, because I said to y'all on one
I can't hide who I am now.
I said, what is that look? I was like, is there something more to that look? Something between them, or is it because he also knew that Teak is kind of explosive too? You know, we
why would Wody do that? I mean, what you can see, Wody is the one that hired Teak to be the security.
Right.
Now, what was
the enforcer?
Yeah, you know, so
well, Wody he don't really have like real business skills because you know we saw in the car when they heard Never Scared, and that's the other thing. Gidget is on the road. I should mention that Gidget is on the road with Mississippi too. That's formerly of the Pynk, and so they hear on the radio Never Scared song, and they're like, Never Scared is popping, and Never Scared told Murder like, you could be popping too. I told you to get on this feature, right. And so Wody was like, okay, he trying to get on the game. And he said, we're going to hurry up and get you this feature by tomorrow. And Rome had to speak up and say, like, what about his publishing? Are you looking into his publishing? You just telling him that he can just jump on this song. And so Wody don't have real good,
business savvy. He's not business savvy.
No,
he's not business savvy. Wody the homie.
That's
Rome,
it.
Even though Rome is kind of acting like, and we from the trailer that we saw for next week, Rome is kind of acting like he Mississippi's pep or something. But
he's making this transition.
But he's
from
making
the street to business.
But he is making business decisions for her. Like he is like,
absolutely.
She got chocolate covered strawberries. Like he getting riders for her when she goes on the tour. She had the tea endorsement. She got the eyelash promo. Like he is doing the thing that a man
benefiting too, Tiff. I mean, he's benefiting too. He's benefiting too as her manager. So
he is.
I mean, everything is transactional with him. I just believe that. So
no, I agree with you. I'm not saying that he isn't, because he's getting, a manager is supposed to get like 25%. So he's getting a percentage of what she's doing, but he's also putting her in predicaments to make money. Whereas Wody is like, whoa, oh yeah, we should do.
Yeah, we can do this.
Kind of stumbling.
Yeah. Though you got to appreciate him though, because you got one in every group. And so I appreciate the fact that if they can pull it off, if he can pull it off for him, then he might have something for him.
Listen, for him to get on the feature would be a good look. Yeah, it would be a good look. Yeah. But Rome was right in asking about publishing stuff.
Absolutely.
The intellectual property. Yeah. His money. Get the split sheets.
Right. Because there's
make sure that stuff is straight.
Yeah, I mean, being on the radio is one thing, but if you don't have what goes behind it,
right,
what does it mean? It means nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, so much more to talk about. What else?
So much, y'all. It's funny.
I got my girlfriend now.
What?
Which one's that?
You want to talk about Farrah and Mercedes?
Yeah. You know who it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a crush on Farrah or Mercedes?
I love me some Farrah. I mean,
she is gorgeous now.
We said that last week.
I mean, she's got that chocolateness, that taste. She's just so fine. She's so fine. I'm so sorry to say. I want to say she is so fine. Yes. I don't mean to interrupt the show for this, but this is a breaking news story.
Well, I mean, since you went there, I guess we can talk about that and talk about Mercedes, because Farrah texted Mercedes, and Mercedes thought it was Coach, and she pulls up to the condo thinking that Coach was gonna be there. And it's Farrah.
Yeah.
And Farrah lied to her and said that Coach, that he was going to be flying in a couple hours or whatever. But for real, she was the one that texted her. And so Mercedes tries to teach her how to work the pole. They get to flirting, trying to teach her how to twerk and all that. And it turns into a full-on.
Well, we know that Farrah was on. She was hot for that since the last episode.
Oh, we saw the look on her face last
and not only that, you heard what she said to Mercedes. You leaving so abruptly, and you had us all wet. Yep. So I knew from last week's episode that she was already into. She was big way.
Coach put her on to the Mercedes experience, and look, Coach can get cut out.
Coach
can get cut out of the deal.
Exactly. Coach, the deal is about to be reworked.
Yeah, it is because it's like she didn't cut Coach right on out of that joint. Because so they had their little thing, and she left Mercedes some stacks beside the bed too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she really picking up where Coach left off.
Yeah, Mercedes, she's not gonna need her mother. Wow. She's not gonna need her mother or Pynk after a while.
I know, right?
She gonna have the money, like she gonna be able to buy Autumn out.
Yeah,
push come to shove, because you see now the friction between her and Autumn, because we saw Corbin, you know, when they got shut down, Corbin tried to approach Autumn, and Autumn was like, she wouldn't accept the offer, the $1 million offer. She said, if you can make me an offer for $1 million, of course there's more money where that comes from. So she's holding out.
Right.
And we see later when Uncle Clifford and them overhear her, they find out she's staying at the Pynk, which I don't get. I talked about this a week ago. You know, she got money, she business savvy. I'm like, why is she staying at the Pynk? Why is she not staying in her own spot or in a hotel? I don't get that.
It's something going on with that. It's something going on with that, which is I think she has money, of course, but coming out of the pandemic, it was a transition for us all. So I don't think they want to glorify her wealth right now, but I think financially she's fine. And I think, you know, she's just learning how to be a business owner. Because remember, when she came from an abusive situation.
Right.
And this is a woman who, you know, who's responsible for someone's death as well. So mentally, she don't have it all yet, you know, so she's going to get it together. She's going to be a queen pin. So
remember, she was also a CPA or
she is. She was.
You know, she's an accountant.
She knows business.
Yeah.
I do. Now, I'm not doubting her business skills. I was just wondering.
That's why she's at the Pynk, because she's saving every penny she can get her hands on.
But you know what? I think it's deeper than that too.
Exactly.
I think it's deeper than that too, because she was on a run. And maybe she thinks the money is being traced. Maybe she's trying to stay there because she doesn't want to have a paper trail.
You know,
because remember that cop, when he was talking to Mississippi, remember he was fishing and asking Mississippi for Autumn's real name and stuff. Like, remember, you know, that's why Montavious came to P Valley in the first place. He found her because she had that scheme going. She was stealing the money and doing that wire thing. I bet you maybe some feds or whatever is probably tracking. Some people, it's probably some other people looking for that money. And Montavious was also in a gang. Yeah, so it might be some other people looking for her. And that's probably why she ain't trying to leave a trail.
Well, this is, okay, since we heard Hassan's theory earlier, you know, about the health inspector. When I was looking at Big Bone today, when she was talking with Diamond, I was like, suppose she's part of that Delta gang. You know, that gang, you know, because remember when they were doing the call, you know, for the new dancers, you know, a lot of women were coming from all over. And she's not from that area, you know, and I'm just saying it's something about her that it meets a little bit more to the eye. And see, we don't know who Montavious told, if he was coming there, you know, because, you know, that gang stuff is really interesting, you know, but I think it's more to Big Bone than what we know right now. For some reason, I think it's some type of connection with that.
And that's probably why she sought after Diamond too, because she's probably going to want to try to get as much information out of him as she can.
Yeah.
So, you know,
you think that's why Big Bone after Diamond?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was something in the way that she went about it. She's been very deliberate, you know, with insinuating herself into the Pynk. I found it interesting that Autumn chose her, you know, to be there. But I think Autumn was looking at the money. Autumn was looking at, you know, this girl can help bring in.
She was looking at her body.
She said she has the look. She was like, she may not be able to work the pole, but she definitely has the look.
Yes, she does.
She was talking about the look of her body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. She had the total package.
Yeah.
For what she was looking for at the Pynk to bring in the money. But the other thing with the Big Bone and Diamond thing, she started communicating with Diamond too, because she was eavesdropping when all those chicks were gossiping about Diamond. They were sitting there talking about he did this, he did that. and they were saying all types of crazy stuff. It was only one of them that was halfway right that talked about what happened with
on murder night.
On murder night, she was the only one, and
exactly.
That's how it is.
And did you see how she peaked up when she heard that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was like, So I do think it's some type of connection there. Hassan, I got your writer's hat on. I think it's some type of connection. You know,
you might be right.
You might
be right.
We'll see.
You might be right. It might be more to her than meets the eye and stuff. But it's definitely gonna be. It's definitely attraction.
They have to slowly bring it along, right? You know what I mean? Because they want to keep us anticipate what's going on. Look at us now.
Right.
Coming with a bunch of speculation. Some is going to be wrong. Some is going to be right because it's our opinion. And in regards to us all being writers, in regards to the avenue that we would go, right? But that's the uniqueness about it. It's like it can go multiple ways, and it's going to keep us enticed. You know, we're going to be interested because we want to know. Yeah. You know, and that's all it is. Like P-Valley, like, they have great writers, and that's one thing I do adore about the series. They have great writers. They're all, you know, they are catering to everybody. Like we had to talk about earlier, they're catering to everybody, which makes it great. So everybody's watching because they want to see themselves in this series.
Right. And I find myself, you know, watching episode more than once. You know, I'm like, I'll go back and I'll watch it again, you know, like I'm gonna watch, you know, number 4, you know, again today. I'm like, I just find it's interesting and entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Great series.
It is. Series. It is. Well, you know, did you guys foresee what happened with Andre's wife? Could y'all see that coming?
Oh, no. Well, you know what? I know that's a good point too that you bring up because, and I also wanted to bring that up about Andre running for mayor too because you know he's got a lot of weight on himself now because you know when a man comes home and finds it's one thing that your wife has an extramarital affair. It's a whole other thing when she has it in your home, in your bed. Now I'm gonna tell you, you know, and yes, there is this dichotomy with men cheating versus women cheating, you know, but I think men take it harder when they find,
I believe that.
it's a much rougher thing because a man will cheat and say, hey, it was just sex. But we do realize in a lot of instances when women cheat, it's because it's emotional. And I think could be where she was coming from because I'm just saying, but
we learned so much in that moment, though.
We did learn a lot from that moment. Yeah, we learned a lot in that moment.
For him to come home and find his wife in the bedroom, I don't know if I can run for anything. I mean, you know, that's a visual you'll never get rid of.
He choked the mess out of dude too. He choked the crap out of dude.
And he should well have, because you know, look, I'm saying, even the dude should have said, look, we can do whatever we want to do, but I'm not doing it in your house.
That was trifling.
It was trifling. And it showed how little respect they have for him. And well, first of all, he had been, I'm not justifying anything that she did, but he had been gone for a while. I was just like, when she kept saying, when you coming home,
that's what I was about to say.
I was like, first off, I was like, for either of them, that distance, I kind of thought that Andre would break before her in that regard, the infidelity.
Well, he already broke.
I thought he broke. Yeah, but they came close. They didn't have sex though.
But hold on a second. Here was the thing. You got to go back a couple of episodes. She's been staying in the basement, you know, because she's so afraid that he's gonna get the COVID,
right?
You know, and everything. So they haven't had. I got the feeling that they haven't had any type of physical relationship for a while. I think she even said, well, he's another doctor, you know, because I think he was wait a minute, you know.
He was the one that her parents
wanted. Exactly. The parents wanted her. And they made it clear that it was her house. Like you know, not her and Andre's house. Like this was the man that her parents wanted her with. This is also another doctor. And Andre said something like, yeah, I'm a gutter nigga that, you know, come from nothing. So
and that's even more demoralizing because it's not your home that you provided for your wife. You know, you got this man that your parents wanted, and now obviously you want to. I mean, you know, when you got all that going on, I don't know how he can run for mayor. I mean,
I don't know. This is when I miss God Daddy. Because God Daddy would have been like, I told you leave that girl alone.
Well, first off, this is why I think he gonna win. I think he gonna win because I feel like with her that she sat up there and said in his face that you can't win. So I think that's going to inspire him. And the mere fact that God Daddy also left him the house.
Yes.
He left him the house. He got a roof over his head. And the roof over his head.
It's the setup. It's the setup.
I miss God Daddy.
Campaign headquarters. So I think because he really is from Chuckalisa, he knows the way he's a lawyer. Corbin is going to back him and stuff.
And he got Autumn. And he
does have Autumn. That's what I said. Now that he and the wife are done.
Yeah. I can't trust. I'm sorry.
It's free and clear for Autumn now.
You can't trust who?
They're gonna be together.
You can't trust Autumn.
They are going to be together.
I can't trust.
They are going to be together.
If I were Andre, I couldn't trust Autumn. There's just too many.
Well, Montavious told us we can't trust him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. He did. And he told, and Andre told her, you cold-hearted. Because even though she was talking about taking that offer, she told Uncle Clifford, it's just a building. I'm like, whoa, you saying it's just a building and
listen, I was expecting him to get them nails in her face again and be like, what?
Yeah, he does that. Uncle Clifford and the family, they are like family. They are like family. And for her to be like, well, it's just a building. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
It
just reinforces the fact that she's an outsider.
Right.
Yeah,
she's an outsider. She landed there. She was on the run. I think she really thinks that she is above them. That this is just, a place for her to gather herself and to move on to the next thing. I really think that, and I think she is really underestimating that family.
She's just hiding out. She's hiding out there until I think she has enough money to move on.
She pretty much said that.
Yeah, not be discovered. So she really doesn't care anything about the Pynk. She doesn't care anything about anyone in the Pynk.
Well, I don't know. I saw the pain look on her face. Look on her face. So I think she's conflicted. I do think that she is cold-hearted. I do think she is about business first and everything. But I do think, even deep down, I think she did care for Mercedes. I think she did.
Yeah.
I saw them.
But it's the nature of the business.
Right.
It's the nature of the business. Because that's a cutthroat industry. I never stripped before. I never been a stripper, so I don't want to assume. But it's a cutthroat. No, I gotta tell y'all a story. One day, one woman thought I was a stripper, but that's another.
But okay now.
Hassan, we got a minute now. If you look.
She called me Chocolate Thunder. I said, "What? How you know my name?" You know what I mean?
All right now. Tell it.
It's a cutthroat industry.
This is the spot real talk.
Hey, listen, we talking real right now, right?
Oh my gosh.
It's an industry where it's cutthroat, where women are doing a lot to enhance themselves in order to capitalize, make as much money as possible. I think that's why a few of the workers were intimidated when these two new characters came along, because they're like, wow, they're doing stuff that we're not doing. This the participation in regards to them on the polls. I was like, wow, this is something I would like to go see.
It's next level stuff, man. Yeah.
Next level, right? They were doing the old stuff. Mercedes had her own little skit. Everybody loved and adored it, but when the new comes along and do the new tricks,
yeah. You saw it on Mercedes' face too. Mercedes like,
the millennials of this game.
Right. But I didn't like the way Roulette was disrespecting Mercedes though, because I was like, I respect the fact that you guys are bringing something new and awesome to the Pynk. Right. But I'm like, you pay homage to the vets too, though, the OGs.
Well, Mercedes knew that she wouldn't be the main event no more, because these new, and like I told you, the other one, what is her name? Whisper. She got some stuff going on where she gonna control your mind and make you give her money. Give you that
What
your
is
money.
her story,
She's
man?
like,
Yeah, she's into the
something's
demonic
going on.
stuff going on, man. I
yeah,
mean,
that, and also
She scares me a little bit.
yeah, she has that. That's why I think they call her Whisper. And also Diamond is into what they call hoodoo, because you saw that even when he went into that room, you saw that he was seeing like a hand come through and stuff. He was sensing some of that as well.
Some of that, right. And if she got that on her side plus her own, like, she's gonna take over the game. You know what I mean? And that's what I think. Because even when the way she looked at that woman in the beginning, that woman looked like, here, you can have all my money. Here, you know.
I saw that. Like, wow. I saw that. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, something going on with her.
It's just interesting how
you'll leave there broke like you leave the casino.
Yeah,
so,
it's real interesting. It's interesting how P-Valley parallels the realities of Mississippi and the Deep South.
Yes.
When you have the voodoo and all that sort of stuff going on.
That's real.
It is real. So I do appreciate the writing or the concepts for P-Valley. It's just it's one of those shows that you're gonna take. You're either gonna like it or you're not.
It is quite polarizing, because I do know people who don't enjoy it at all, and then have people who are like, okay, they're living for Sunday. When is it going to drop? You know, when is it going to drop? So I'm kind of more on that end, like, okay, when is the next episode?
Well, one of the things that we talked about, some of the things that it touches on real life, like, of course, the pandemic, but something that's been an epidemic forever has been the killing of Black men by police. And that's what happened on this episode. And that's why, we saw Patrice, the pastor, we saw her asking for calm because people were rioting and protesting. And they were they're asking for calm, and we saw that they instituted curfews as well. And we saw that T in particular was really, really he was really upset by it, which I don't blame him. Look, we all were, and we are upset when things like this happen in the community to our brothers and sisters and stuff. And Rome was kind of sweeping it under the rug, like, well, what did that dude do? And the police don't come unless you do something or whatever. He kind of was
well, he basically was saying that it was his fault.
He pretty much victim blamed.
Right. And I like what Big T said, because he said really it didn't matter what kind of N-word you are. Or it doesn't matter. They're gonna do what they do to us just because of who you are.
But do you think that's lost on Rome? I mean, because I find that interesting. If we could just kind of unpack that a little bit.
I don't think it was lost on Rome. I think Rome is like your typical gangster.
I think he was detached. I think he was definitely detached.
Who, Rome? Oh yeah. I mean, because Rome only sees, a lot of times people are very myopic. They only see what's in front of them, and they don't see they don't see what's going on around them. They don't associate themselves with worldly issues or national issues, and that's Rome. Rome doesn't care about anything but Rome. And
dollars and cents. I think that's what's
happening for him. He can care less about it.
Right.
Gotcha. And I think that was his statement. His statement to Big T was, in fact, he said, "Why are you so worried about it? Why are you so concerned?" Because it doesn't, to Rome, it doesn't concern him. So that's his problem. He really needs to take those blinders off the side and start looking at the world in a greater as it is, because that's what he's missing.
Yes, he came off as being not in touch, being detached, elitist too, and kind of elitist, because you're like, oh, he's something he did, or the cops came and stuff, and he was victim blaming. So I appreciated Teek's righteous anger, even though we know that Teek does suffer from he has some mental health.
He's got some issues. Yeah.
He got some issues because we saw last week when he talked about the darkness and things like that. Yeah. And then I was afraid. I'm glad they got Gidget out of there. Yeah. The white girl that was there. I was like, okay, this ain't the time.
That was some wisdom.
Yeah, Mississippi. Let me get her up out of here because Teak was like, if you don't get your pasty butt out of my house, I said, oh, see, she about to get the beat down for everybody.
Gidget was about to become a gadget, and he was going to see her. I mean, I didn't understand that. Come on, young lady.
Right,
I mean, you can see that this man has lost it, and you're going to jump in his face.
I know.
And provoke him. I mean,
she was tripping. She was
tripping hard.
She was tripping, and really... I was glad Mississippi was like, "Yeah, we gonna get her up out of here." And Mississippi even said to Rome, like, some people you can't talk to everybody about stuff because Gidget. At the end of the day, like y'all may have worked at the Pynk together, but your walk is not Gidget's walk.
Exactly.
And she would never understand that. Yeah. And so it was time for Gidget to beat it. And so
literally beat it.
Literally beat it before she got beat. So that whole scenario led up to the situation with Lil Murder. Lil Murder pretty much trying to work on his feature.
Which feature are you talking about?
His feature for Never Scared. Remember, Wody gave him a challenge.
No, I'm sorry. I was just trying to be clear which feature you were.
Yeah, no, the feature that he was gonna have. And the feature that I think is getting ready to happen. They have not said this yet publicly, but remember when they showed Never Scared a couple episodes ago, and they showed him in the studio with a woman, and you saw her hands on her on the shoulder. Well, rumor has it that woman is Megan Thee Stallion.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, in her alias, she used the alias Tina Snow. I think that she's going to be on the show as Tina Snow. And I think there might come an opportunity for Lil Murder to get on a track with her. So
nice.
because she was even
that'd be the picture perfect.
Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion was
but
awesome.
Reality,
right.
I'm sorry. I'm just good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He really, his heart is with
Uncle Clifford. Right. Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about the feature now. I'm talking about the feature. Right. But so she did so he did the feature. He was preparing for the feature, and Teak comes in there.
Yeah.
And so this leads up to their scene. And basically Murder was trying to console, and it led to their love affair, their sex scene. And it's something that I think was teased. I think a lot of us probably kind of guessed that there was something more. As I was saying earlier in the conversation, I felt like there was something up because the way Murder reacted when he came out. I felt like, I was like, is he, was there a relationship there, or is it because he also knows that Teak is unstable?
There had to have been a relationship earlier on.
Oh, they were both locked up together. I mean, they.
Well, remember what Teak said when he was sitting in the window seal there. He said that when he asked who was Clifford, he said, "You never once.
You ain't never sent me no postcard."
That's right.
I was like, see, this secret is getting ready to come out, because I was like, because Teak is in his feelings, Pico running his mouth. So this secret doesn't stand a chance. This secret is getting ready to be out.
Yeah.
It's getting ready to be out.
But what I didn't know is remember when Uncle Clifford had the board, in every state that Murder was in, he got a postcard from.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Every state.
Yes.
When Murder was on tour.
Yes, he was keeping in touch.
Well, Murder's in love with Cliff. I mean, Uncle Clifford.
They're in love with each other, and Teak is on the outside. That's why I said this secret doesn't stand a chance, because Teak is feeling away because he never got postcards, and Pico has been dying to drop the dime. So we saw that situation happen, and then we see that on the outside, Mississippi was talking to Rome about, Gidget and everything, and Rome tells her that he's going to take care of her, and he said he wants to fire Teak. Mississippi said he shouldn't do it, but Wody is in the cut, and he overhears that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, "Ooh, this is gonna be
it's
bad."
About to be really, it's about to get really, really interesting on the road.
Yeah,
and we're not just talking about winking and pretending you dying. It's about to get real interesting on that road,
because the secrets are going to be exposed. Truth is going to come out, and that's what I think Uncle Clifford. That's what she feels some type of way about. Like you are, you love me when it's me and you, but you won't tell a world. And he's protecting his image of a rapper because he feels like his career is something that he wants to pursue wholeheartedly, but he can't come out and be who or love who he really wants to love, and that's tough.
Well, remember
that's a challenge.
But remember, earlier on when they first got involved, it was Lil Murda that wanted to go out.
I know.
Initially, he said that.
And if you stop to think about it, it might be better for Murda if he controls the narrative here, because if he doesn't, if all that gets out, and it's just going to look bad. Now, of course, there'll be some fire if he were to, come out of the closet, if you will. But I think in these type situations, it's better to control the narrative than to let that.
It is.
And it may not be as bad as he think it is, but
exactly.
I don't know. I don't know the rap world. We were, when we were talking earlier, about it, but I think it's that whole mystique that goes along with it, and that culture, but it's going to, it's out because a whole lot more people know than they think,
He may have to change his name from Little Murder to Felony, so Little Murder kind of rough, but he can change
because it's a gig.
Little Felony. I mean,
that's a good name. That's definitely a good name, but he has to put on his front this facade like he's tough, he's a killer, and he has to be heterosexual to be that, right? So he's under the
not necessarily, because I think he's still those things. I think that he is those things. I mean, you see, he was. I mean, he wear the colors, the gang and stuff. I think he is those things, and he whooped Pico's butt last season pretty proper. Like Murder had those hands. It ain't nothing wrong with.
But it's a society image for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the image.
People respect him and love his music, knowing that he chooses to be who he is, whatever that may be. Will everyone love him the same? Because we know in real life, once your sexuality comes out, whatever it may be, a lot of people that are married in this industry, in rapper industry, they like to hide that. Right? Because they think like, it's more enticing for the woman to assume that they're single because they feel like I have a chance with Drake. I have a chance with Fabulous. I have a, you know what I mean? But if they know they're married, they're like, I'm not going to listen to the music because he's probably talking to his wife.
That's true. There's some.
It's not relatable.
But today,
to the person, they like, oh my God, he's singing to me. He's singing to me. He want to do this to me.
But today, though, you have a lot of artists and actors coming out and and announcing their gaiety. So I don't know. That's why.
But they're already established, and that's the thing. Because I talked about that last week in one of our recaps when we talked about Lil Nas X. Like Lil Nas X did come out, but had already made it. He was already on. He wasn't on the ascent, and that's the thing. Murder is still trying to get there.
But there's a community there waiting for him. We all know. I mean, so
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think
but it's not a big, but it's not as big as the world. And that's
the hip hop community.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really a part of that community.
I think it's
but I do know this. If it comes out by happenstance, he's for sure done.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He definitely needs to control the narrative. If it comes up what happens, the blowback is going to be.
Do you think in Teek's Big Teek, right?
Yeah, Big Teek.
Teek.
Yeah, Big Teek. Right.
Do you think he is? He's going. Little jealousy is popping up.
Yes, he in his feelings. He in his feelings. I was like
his feelings, and I don't know. Hey, he might out Lil Murda.
Listen, Rome might see, because I feel like enough has been dropped around Rome Like he heard he was there when Pico said it and called him a trade, and mentioned the trade and all this other stuff. And Ron was like, what? And then I saw him peeking when Keyshawn went into his room. And then when she snatched him in there, and he was just like, oh okay. So he is watching, and I think he gonna peep game on this tour. It's about
to his benefit too, because it protects his client, you know, because if he can get Lil Murder out of the scene and have, you know, because he wants it to be about you know, Keyshawn, I think it would be to his benefit. I think it's so many different dynamics with this. Yeah. But you know, there's one thing we have not talked about yet.
Go ahead.
The Africans.
Yes. Uncle Clifford said they brought Wakanda to help.
I know.
Put the plastic up.
Listen. Did you catch the conversations that they were having?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna go back and watch it again, because I was like, and how they found old boy, you know, in the room. You ain't that lost trying to find the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That lost.
And the gesture he made.
Exactly.
I was like, you ain't looking for the bathroom.
Exactly. You done been in there all day too? Come on now.
Ain't never seen a man's bathroom look like that before.
Exactly. You know, so it was like, I'm like, there's so many different things, you know, going on that you got to keep up with. But I think we need to pay attention to that storyline that's going to be developing too, because I think one of them said, you know, kind of insinuated that it might be an opportunity there.
Yeah, they sure did say that. They said that it's a lot going on, and like you said, even with Roulette, you said this episode was called Demetrius, and we found out it was named after her brother. Her brother had been killed by the cops, and they said he had a gun and stuff. And we've heard this story about a lot of Black men and women and stuff too. And so that was the softer side that we got to see of her. And we saw Duffy, Gidget's ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance or whatever seemed to be getting closer and closer to Roulette.
I know, right? 1 minute he talking about buying a ring for Gidget, the next minute he see her and go out the door.
And if Gidget come back trying to get some smoke, we already see what Roulette can do.
Listen, her brother done taught her them wrestling moves. You better stop playing with Roulette.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She beat the brakes off of Brazil. So
yeah. Oh gosh, that is crazy.
But I think we have touched on just about everything. And if we haven't, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you guys want to talk about?
I just want to talk about Uncle Clifford's wardrobe for just 1 second. Okay.
Yeah,
he be doing it, don't he?
I mean,
Uncle Clifford do what it do.
Uncle Clifford got the Birkin. That's what even the health inspector said. Y'all, you talk about you don't have 25K, but you got the Birkin. I'm like, okay, that's kind of true. Uncle Clifford, you can't be copping please with the Birkin on your hand, on your shoulder.
And I just, you know, and I just absolutely love every scene with grandmother.
Loretta Devine is
every scene with her is
gosh, she is so perfect. She is so
the best.
I mean, I've seen her in some real like that roles, but she is really cleaning this one up. It's just a whole nother dimension.
I know.
That I see with her. So it's good to have her there.
The writers are great. The actors are great. I think it's the perfect cast because everyone has their own unique character, personality, which blends it all well together because that's how life works. You know, we have a bunch of people that come together, like even with us coming together to have this conversation, you guys have guests every week, different personalities. This is about blending, but it works authentically, you know, and that's the thing about P-Valley. I love it and adore it. You know, it's a great series.
We try to keep our show very organic, and it's always
just like the spot.
Right.
Because it's real. The spot's real.
The real, right? The real spot, real talk, and we try to keep it like a conversation too. So it's not.
That's what it's about because these are the you know how like men we have barbershop talk. The real, you know, y'all talk real talk, and it's a great thing because at the end of the day, people have their own perceptions of things in life, as we spoke about earlier, but it's about what really goes on in life, and you guys bring it together the right way, and I truly enjoy it. I'm happy every time I come on. This is my second time on. I can't wait to be a part of it again.
Well, that being said, you got to come on a little more, because as you know, a brother needs a little help every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm
glad to have Sonya on, because she's such a dynamo.
Look, and that does not exclude you, Sonya. I love your commentary. You can come back anytime. I'm just simply saying that,
I get it.
She's great.
It just evens out a little bit when I hear Brother Hassan. He's on.
I got you.
Jello's a brother.
Happy to see another brother on.
But that's right.
But yeah, so
Sonya's the queen of New Mexico. She's the queen of New Mexico.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Albuquerque.
So I really enjoyed this conversation. Do you guys have any predictions for next week? I know I saw in the trailer that Mississippi with Rome was like kind of demanding that Mississippi stay on the road. I mean, and stuff, and it looks like Derek was getting on Mississippi in the trailer and saying, like, listen, we you ain't seen your kids in 2 weeks. So I'm like, she's either going home or Derek may be coming on the road after her. But Rome was pretty much saying we need to get this money, and it looked like he was trying to set up a solo tour, additional stops or something for just Mississippi.
Yeah. I think
and I see a rift between Murda and Little Mississippi when that happens, because I think she's going to follow what Rome has presented to her.
Oh yeah, they showed her and she was laying and all this cash.
I know.
And it sounded like I heard a voiceover like she was popping off at Derek saying, "Well, I'm the one paying the bills." I was like, "Oh, Mississippi that bossed that flexed on him."
Listen, I don't sleep on Mississippi. Mississippi started this plan that night when Mercedes' last dance never happened, and she got that spotlight. Mississippi realized her worth and potential at that moment.
Yes,
and her eyes have been on that prize ever since. You know what? Ain't nothing gonna stop her.
No,
nothing.
I think she
not
would
even
kill
Derek.
I think she would kill Derek if she had to.
Well, that's why I keep saying the diamond may come back in the picture, but we'll see, what happens.
He might, but I think she's gonna be the one to do it.
You think so, huh?
I think if push came to shove, it could be a self-defense thing, like if he tries.
She's smart enough. She's smart and shrewd enough to set that type of thing up.
She is. She set up that whole deal with Rome. She set it up, that tour thing. She's savvy. Like even when she wanted to get out and she threw the diapers away and everything. Like she's pretty shrewd. She's pretty shrewd. So we'll see what's happening with in my crooked letter.
I know, right? I know. It just it's good. I don't have any. I guess I'm thinking about so many different storylines that just have me absolutely, intrigued. And but the text at the end, Uncle Clifford finally, after how many months, sends Lil Murda a text asking him, are you all right out there? And then you see his look and him just kind of, I'm like, ooh. So I do think it's about to be on, because
it's about to be
having
on.
it. He ain't having it.
No, Teak real unstable. You see how he he a ticking time bomb.
That's exactly what it is.
Stuff. So Teak, that either Teak or Pico about to let the cat out the bag. So that's about to happen. The secret about to be out. I feel like at Mississippi, they're probably kicking Coach to the curb. And probably gonna be kicking it with Farrah. It's looking that way.
Did y'all talk? Did y'all talk about the new coach? I may have missed it.
We did talk about that last week. Tierra brought it up. Tierra was like, they didn't recast Coach. So we got a new coach.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think if anybody else doesn't have any predictions, I'll shut it down.
We're good.
Okay, I think we've covered everything. This has been fun. Thank you everyone for watching. Please follow us. Of course, subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell. Follow us on IG, Twitter, TikTok,
Facebook.
all of the above, Facebook, all of the social media channels. We are on it. Check out our playlist. We've done several interviews with folks, including from Stars, Power Book Force. We did a recent roundtable with Ozark.
Wow.
Yeah. So keep us on lock. Keep watching us. We'll be back here next week to talk about episode 5 of P Valley.
Y'all keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you
Appreciate
both
it.
for being
Follow
on.
me and Sonya too.
Oh,
We're doing
definitely.
some special things.
Yeah, give us your info real quick, Hassan. Where can you find you?
Mine's is
Yeah.
Haas Grimes the Pen, HASS Grimes GRIMES the Pen.
Excellent.
You want to put yours?
My socials, as they say, you want my socials?
Yeah.
Sonya Yaya Smith, Instagram, and Sonya Mooring Smith on Twitter, Facebook, Sonya Mooring Smith, LinkedIn, Sonya Smith.
We're giving up everything.
Exactly.
Okay, y'all. This has been fun. So we're gonna say goodnight and thank you everyone for watching. Tiara will be back week after next.
Every time I need to go, every time I need to know, bitch, please call me now. I don't want to win the
Bye-bye.
war. Win the war.
Bye.
Win the war. Win the war.
Bitch, please call me now. I don't wanna win the war.